2-1, man. It's the playoff, almost playoff time. You know what I'm saying? We getting to that point. We're in week 15 right now, getting headed to week 16. We got 2 games left to play. Both games, well, I ain't gonna say both games, but for the most part, both games are crucial enough, man, because the games of the left teams are mathematically still in the playoffs. One team could still win a division. Um, Meanwhile, we got the Bears, man, who are mathematically still in the playoffs. The Chiefs, who are mathematically still in the playoffs. A long fight. You know what I'm saying? But them games should be going. So this is what's going on in the AFC, man. Whew. We look at the when you look at the playoff picture as of right now, and this was pretty much the playoff picture going into week 15. So, it's some teams on here that's definitely not in the playoffs as of today, depending on certain games. But right now, you got the Jaguars who have clinched who have clinched the playoff berth. You got the Broncos who have clinched the playoff berth. You got the Raiders who have clinched the playoff berth as you look in the AFC. Now the thing is, also the Dolphins have clinched the AFC berth. Playoff berth at 10-4 right now. The only teams that can really play with his mojo is the Jets, because let's just say if the Dolphins don't win another game and the Jets win out, the Jets can end up 11-6 and the Dolphins can end up 10-7. The only thing about it, there's only 7 teams. So you got the Dolphins, you got the Raiders, you got the Chargers, you got the Colts, you got the Browns, and you got the Jets, who are all literally fighting for these spots. Now don't get me wrong, when you look at the mathematics of everything, you still got the Chiefs, you still got the Bengals, you still got the Bills, and you still got the Titans, who, as far as wins and losses, could still make the playoffs, but they would definitely need everybody to lose. Like everybody. Like the Chiefs right now sitting at 5-8. They could go 9-8. And you still got the Jets, the Browns, the Chargers, who could all go 7-10. You know what I mean? Giving the Chiefs a 9-8 record could be better. Giving the Shamrocks a 9-8 record could be better than theirs. The Bengals could go 7-10 along with all of them. You got the Bills who could go 7-10. It's like I said, it's a lot of them, but the Bills and the Bengals are technically out. They've been eliminated. But you also got the Titans who could actually go like 8-9. So that's why I say mathematically, but that means the Jets, the Browns, the Colts, the Chargers all just can't win another game. But we just gonna focus on the teams at hand that are in the playoff bunch right now. So you got a total of 6 teams in the AFC that are still fighting for a spot, and you have 4 teams that can get it, which will knock 2 teams out. And as of right now, the Ravens have clinched the spot. They 10-4 in their division, and they'll pretty much win that division. They've clinched that division with the win over the Dolphins that they just had. The worst they could go is 10-7. The best the Browns could do is go 10-7, but the Ravens got the tiebreaker over the Browns because they beat them twice in the season. So with that being said, that knocks the Browns out. That knocks the Browns out of the divisional win deal. So the Ravens have won their division. So that puts them in. That's 5 teams. That's 4 teams in. The Dolphins have secured a spot with their 10th win due to the fact that the Chargers and the Browns both can only go 10-7. And the Dolphins have the tiebreaker over the Browns. They also have the tiebreaker over the Chargers with the conference record. So even if Break over the Chargers and Browns. Worst they can. Yeah. Due to the fact that the Chargers are 7-7, the best they can do is 10-7. And like I said, two of the teams will definitely get knocked out, which will lead the Jets, the Colts, the Ravens, and the Dolphins in. So that's why the Dolphins made the playoffs, because the worst they can do is 10-7, and the only teams that can peak over them are the Jets and the Colts. Which leaves that 7 seed. So the worst thing the Dolphins can do right now is take the 7 seed in the AFC, which leaves the fight between the Chargers, the Colts, the Browns, and the Jets. Now, coming into this week, there was a 4-way tie for the rest of the season, and I know y'all kind of wonder how does that work out. Well, the thing is the Jets the Chargers beat the Colts, so that's what gave the Chargers the 6th seed. Now, the thing about it, when you in a 3-way or 4-way race, they first look at the teams that have actually played each other. And the bad thing about the Jets, they actually didn't play none of the teams that they are in a they haven't played any of the teams that they are in a tiebreaker wild card race with, which kind of sucks for them, because you got the Chargers who's played the Colts, and so that knocked the Colts to the 7th seed. But then you also have the Browns, who the Colts have played. So since the Colts have played the Browns, they knock the Colts out and they jump in, which leaves the Jets just sitting there with a better AFC conference record and was tied with everybody else. Now, the good thing about the Jets as of right now is they only have 6 losses. The Browns and the Chargers both have 7 losses as of right now because of the games that have been played. The Jets haven't played yet. So if the Jets lose as of right now, that will put the Colts in, and then that will, as far as records go, the Colts will be in. So they will be out of the tiebreaker, which will leave the Jets tied with the Chargers. Thing about it, the Chargers are 4-6 in the AFC conference, while the Jets, if they lost, they will be 5-5. So they will take over that 7 seed if they lose. So if the Jets lose as of right now, they will take the Colts spot. The Colts will take the Chargers spot, and the Jets will take the Colts spot. So as of today, right now, the Jets are in the playoffs and the Chargers are not. As far as records go. But we know how that all go. Now, what's going on? The fight, let's talk about the true fight. All right, the Jets trying to steal the division still. They can still win their division. I just told y'all how they was trapped in a 3-way tie with the Chargers and the Colts and all of that. That left the Jets out because of what I told y'all. Now, going into week 16, you got the Colts and the Jets holding the 6th and 7th seed as of right now. The Browns, in order for y'all to make the playoffs, the first thing y'all need to do is worry about the Colts and the Chargers. They have to lose. If the Colts and the Chargers not losing, then ain't no point in you even thinking about the playoffs. But if you see the Colts and the Chargers lose, then you can start doing your calculations. As far as the Jets go, the Jets just need to win out, really. The Jets sitting at 7-6. If they could win out, as everybody needs to win out, but if they win out, they are in, no matter what. If they win out as of right now, they are in. If they just so happen to lose a game, then they'll find themselves tied with the Chargers and the Browns. So they need the Browns and the Chargers to lose some games, is what they gonna need. If they lose a game, then they'll be tied with everybody else and they fine. But still, so they can actually lose this game and be all right. They'll still have the win. Only problem is the Chargers will knock the Browns out because the Chargers actually played the Browns. So the Chargers will, if they tie with the Jets, the Chargers will win that tiebreaker because of the fact that the Chargers played the Browns. I know it sounds a little confusing, but if you go back and listen to it again slowly, end of the day, the Chargers, if the Chargers, the Browns, and the Jets all end up tied, due to the fact that the Chargers have played the Browns, am I right? Yeah, the Chargers have played the Browns, and the Browns have actually beat the Chargers. The Browns will be in the playoffs, and they will knock the Jets out the playoffs and the Chargers out the playoffs if they all end up tied at the end. So that's how that works. The Chargers need the Colts to lose a game to secure spot. If the Colts start losing, then they can look a little happier because that's who they have the tiebreaker over. The Browns had the tiebreaker over the Chargers. The Jets pretty much is just hoping to have a better record than the other guys because they haven't played any of them, and they all gonna knock each other out. And the Jets will be sitting there with a better AFC record probably, but can't make it just because those teams played each other. Jets just basically, so that's the case with that. All right. If it's any other confusion, and like I said, them other teams I named, they just need a prayer. Now let's get into this NFC, man. That NFC side, as you see it right now, there's a fight in the NFC with like the same amount of teams, but their fight is different because all those guys are not just mathematically in it, but like damn, they're like you lose, we in type shit. Right now, the Vikings have clinched a playoff berth, the Lions have clinched a playoff berth, and the Saints have clinched a playoff berth. Win, lose, or draw, them three guys are in the playoffs just due to the record and how math works. They all have reached above 10 wins, and the only teams that they don't have enough teams to take them out the playoffs. You got the Rams at 9-5. You got the Falcons at 9-5. You got the Niners at 8-6. The Bears at 6-7. You got the Eagles at 7-7. You got the Packers at 6-8. The Cowboys at 6-8, and the Seahawks at 6-8. What you got in the fight, man? So you got the Lions and the Vikings fighting for the division title. That's still up for grabs. The Lions are up one on the Vikings right now. So they play week 16. If they beat them, again, they sweep them. And if they have a tied record or better, then they take over that division. The Lions will win that division over the Vikings. You got the Saints and the Falcons fighting for the South. The Saints has the tiebreaker due to their division record. They split games, but the Saints right now have a better division record. So the Saints will win that division if they are tied. Going more down, you got the Eagles and the Cowboys fighting for the East. So the Eagles and the Cowboys are split games. Then the thing about them, they both 4-1 in a division. They both got a crucial divisional game to play coming up. The Eagles got to play the Giants. The Cowboys got to play the Commanders. If either one of them lose one of them games, the other guy is going to win that division. Now, if they both win their games, now they still tied in their division at 5-1. Then they got to go down to common games. As of right now, the Eagles are winning in common games. So the Eagles are winning the tiebreaker right now. But this is the funny thing about it. The Cowboys are 2-4 in common games. The Eagles are 4-3 in common games. So the Cowboys has 3 more games to play that the Eagles have already played similar games to. So the Eagles technically have to win the last 3 games of their season because the Cowboys have played. The Cowboys got to win the last 3 games. They have to because those are all common games and those are all big factors in the tiebreaker. The Eagles got the Giants and the Broncos. They have to win both of those. The Cowboys got the Commanders, the Raiders, and the Chargers. The Eagles have already played all 3 of them teams. So that's the crucial tiebreaker right there because that common game, what you could end up with, if the Cowboys win all the rest of their last 3 games, they will be 5-4 in common games. If the Eagles lose to the Giants and the Broncos, for one, they'll lose a divisional game. That's crucial. They lose to the Broncos, they end up with 4 losses in their common game. So if they beat the Giants, then they get that 5th, they'll end up 5 man, I always do this shit wrong. They will end up 5-3. If they beat the Giants and the Broncos, no. Yeah. if they hold on, let me think on this real quick. All right, yeah, I forgot. I got confused because I forgot the Cowboys did play the Broncos. So this the thing: the Eagles are 4-3 right now. They got 2 games left to play. If they can win both of those games, then they'll be 6-3. If the Cowboys win the rest of their games, they will be 5-4. So those common games right there are crucial. If the Eagles lose if the Eagles lose one of them games, the Broncos or if they lose to the Giants, they'll possibly they can lose their division if they tie. If they lose to the Broncos, then the common games could be tied if the Cowboys win. Then it'll go to another then it'll go to strength of schedule, and by that time I don't deal with strength of schedule. I don't do all that calculation. Last but not least, man, you got the Rams. Rams got the tiebreak over the 49ers, and they fighting for the West. The Rams swept the 49ers. Hell, you even got the Seahawks that still got an opportunity to win the NFC West. That's what's crazy, man, because the Seahawks 6-8. The Cowboys are 8-6. I mean, the 49ers are 8-6, and the Rams are 9-5. Technically, the Seahawks could go 9-8, and the Rams could go 9-8. But the Rams do have a better divisional record, and the Rams have the gotta be the Seahawks. The Rams got 1 win over the Seahawks, so technically the Seahawks can't win that division, but they could get the second. They could take the 49ers down. Right now the Rams got the tiebreaker over the 49ers because they swept them. They beat the Seahawks once. They got to play the Seahawks again in week 17 for the sweep. Then they'll have a tie over both of them, but for the most part they can't beat them unless they Seahawks can't beat the Rams to take the division now that the Rams has got their 9th win. So the 49ers, they got to sweep over the Seahawks also, but the 49ers got to win out and hope that the Rams lose, pretty much. They don't want to be in a tie with the Rams. That's pretty much how the playoff scenarios go. Y'all know it's always kind of confusing and fucked up. It's too much shit. I be writing this shit down, then I read it, and then I be like, did I say that shit right? And then I have everybody confused. End of the day, y'all know how it works. Everybody gotta win. Can't nobody lose. The Vikings, the Lions, and the Saints are in the playoffs. As of right now, they can sit back and chill. The Jaguars, the Broncos, the Raiders, the Dolphins, and the Ravens are in the playoffs as of right now. So that's just how that works. All right, just to talk about that. Eagles and Cowboys gonna be a good matchup to see who win that division. It's gonna be something to see, man. Sorry to get y'all confused. Y'all know me. I'm gonna come back week 17 after a bunch of people that lost and a bunch of people that won and see who's been eliminated. Then we can break it playoffs down a little better. You know what I'm saying? And go from there, man. All right.